Hey, Pastor Mike here. If you were tuned in last week, I talked about the idea of, do you need God? Are you coming to worship with a sense of expectancy? Are you doing your daily devotion time because you really need to be with God, or are you just kind of checking a box? I talked about the parable Jesus told, the Pharisee and the tax collector. He said, these two guys go up to the temple to pray. The tax collector stands up front and he's speaking to God, but his focus is on this tax collector in the back. The Pharisee says, God, I thank you that I'm not like other people. I'm not like this tax collector here. I do all the right things. I fast twice a week and I give 1/10 of all of my income. Jesus said, then pulls back and looks at the tax collector. The tax collector's back there beating his breast saying, God, have mercy on me, a sinner. God, have mercy on me, a sinner. Jesus reminds us that it was the tax collector who went home justified that day, not the Pharisee. The Pharisee was righteous in his own eyes. He didn't have a need for God. He was doing everything. The tax collector desperately needed the love and grace of God. Today, I want us to pull out and focus on the Pharisee. Because again, while the Pharisee was talking and praying to God, he was judging other people. Instead of being focused on praising God, instead of focusing on his own sin, his own need for God's grace and mercy and forgiveness, he was judging another human being. Now, I don't know about you, but I've been in churches like that. I grew up in and served churches like this where the focus was on, what other people wore or, how well groomed they were or weren't when they came to church. And there was a whole lot of judging instead of worshiping God, which is why when we came to Morning Star, Dee Dee and I endeavored to create a different kind of church where imperfect people like Dee Dee, like me, we're imperfect people like the tax collector, and even the Pharisee, even though he didn't realize his imperfection and needs, were imperfect people. All of us could help other imperfect people connect to the perfect love of God. And furthermore, we didn't want this just to be a nice saying that sounded really sexy and sounded like we were honoring God, but we wanted to be the kind of church that actually lived this out in the way that we welcomed and accepted and loved on people. Let me ask you, when you come to worship, where are your eyes? Where is your focus? We want to be a church because we know, I hear the prayer concerns every single week. The prayer concerns that we receive from our students this past weekend, 150 of them who attended our lock-in. Those prayer concerns, dear friends, will literally break your heart. These are our own kids, our nieces and nephews, our grandkids, the people who live beside us. They are hurting. They are in need, just like we are, even if we're not aware of our own need. So as a church, we want to come and we want to worship God. We also want to be a place where all people can bring their needs and be connected to God, because that is what the kingdom of heaven is going to look like, where all ages, where all races, where all economic levels are welcomed into one family, worshiping God, helping one another overcome sin, and get to a place where they're thriving under the grace and lordship of Jesus Christ. Hey, this week I challenge you to come to worship with expectancy, with your own needs, that God is going to meet you exactly where you are. And I can't wait to be in worship right beside you, one imperfect person next to another. See you there. God bless you.